Hello, my friends. Good to see you again. This is Seven English Bible School. Thanks for joining us. And once again, your presence means a lot to me. God bless you and keep you.
Where the next 1,000 babies will be born. So this is basically now. And think about the planet. So 511 will be born in Asia. Where the next 1,000 babies will be born. Look at these numbers. 511 in Asia, 326 in Africa. And, look at Europe and look at the Americas. And when we look at the Americas, look at the U.S. is just 30. This is in so many ways, the browning of the world. And so I want to have a conversation about this because it's really worth talking about because the world is changing pretty quickly. But look at the numbers. Look at where the population of the world is. And sometimes this is a really nice graph to have a kind of a vision. Look at India. Look at how India is going to grow. India is going to grow, in the next 30 years by practically the entire population of the United States today. This is why I'm often saying, if you really are interested in understanding the world, you got to go to the other side of it and see what it is that other people are seeing. Look at Africa here. 40% of the continent of Africa, now mind you, it's different in every country, but 40% is under the age of 15 versus 3% over the age of 65. Look at Europe. Europe's an aging population. Look at the United States, an aging population. If I want to imagine the future, if I'm in finance, those of you who are in finance and you want to go to Wall Street, you want to make a lot of money, you want to do whatever you want to do, look to Africa, man. Look to India. What's going on there? You look to the places where the growth and the change are going to happen. Utterly fat. Look to the Middle East. The center of power is where people are. Yeah. And do you want to have children?
Oh, I want to have children because we'll keep the family legacy on. Because we're all girls, we're going to lose the last name, so
Yeah?
yeah, we have to keep that going.
How many kids do you want?
2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah.
All right. Because the people in Bangladesh are having a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean, it is almost expected of every woman back in Bangladesh to have a child, at least. And it's mostly expected from the parents, actually. The parents want a grandchild. That's the thing. The parents want to play with a grandchild. The parents want to, kind of see a grandchild be there. So they want, the woman to have a kid. And it depends again on the education. A lot of people in Bangladesh are not really educated. So for them, having kids is also a way of having people to work for them and bring income for them. So that more kids can work. Because, child labor is very, very, very much there over, in Bangladesh. So more kids work, get a collective income for the parents. The parents really don't have to work and feeds the families. So, that's why they end up having more and more kids.
So the birth rate, the reason that 19 of the 20 countries with the highest birth rates are in Africa, and Bangladesh is not very far behind, the reason is because there are two things going on. One is just this expectation and the pressure to have kids. It's just a given that you do. And the second one is the kids become a source of stability for you and definitely taking care of parents and so on as people get older, right? It's an entire society that revolves around a larger traditional family, as opposed to here in the United States where our lives are much more revolved around nuclear families. But societies that are built more around extended family, there's the pressure and then it just becomes part of it.
But yeah, if I didn't come from that place, I would definitely be having kids right now, almost.
Yeah.
Because it's they want you to get married by the time you're 20, 21, and have kids by the time you're 22, 23, so that they can spend time with the grandchild.
So the replacement of a population requires that every woman born in that particular population group has 2.1 children. That's the only way you replace a population, meaning that if you want to keep the population steady, not have it decline, not have it grow, you just want to replace it, every woman of childbearing age has to have 2.1 children. So that means if one woman doesn't have 2.1 children, a couple of children, that means that some other woman has to have 4. But on average, it has to work out to be 2.1. The current birth rate in Korea is 0.81, and in China, 0.28, like well below, look at Japan, and even Germany and the US, right? And so it's well below reproduction rates. So the way the US population is going to grow is from immigration. The way the German population is going to grow is from immigration. How about you? Do you want to have kids?
Of course. Yes.
Well, you say of course, but in Korea, the of course is not the answer that most Koreans would give. Are you about having children? Are you planning to have kids?
Yeah, I do, but maybe just one.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to like having a kid, I believe I will need to be just financially stable. Also, I will need to consider my marriage, how stable it is.
Yeah.
Because I know I was pretty privileged, and I know how my parents dedicated to my life.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of pressure and responsibility of having a child.
When you talk about the pressures of having children and the pressures of doing all the things you need to do to really successfully raise a child, there are a lot more pressures. Like when you think about having to deal with the education pressures and making sure your child is fully educated. So, but do you have childhoods? Like, what do you do? I mean, I talk about having children in Korea. I'm like, but wait, where's the childhood? Like, what are you doing? Like, do you have hobbies? Like, one time, I took a book home overnight, and it was an accident. I accidentally left it in my book bag, and I had to carry it home, and then I took it back. One time. That was it for me. So, and here I am. I feel like I'm such a slacker. Like, if I'd have been born in Korea, I could be a real person who had a real job, who was more distinguished in some way, and I feel like such a fool. Do you have childhoods?
Yeah.
Yeah, your childhood is just studying. This is the age-sex ratio. So it's men on the left, women on the right, okay, everywhere. And men, women, women. This is 1960. So see, there's very few old people above the age of 80 and lots of young people below the age of 10. And then look at 90. It's the young people start to decline, old people grow. Look at 2010, old people grow, young people decline. And then look here, in 2030, you've got all these old people and you don't have anyone to take care of them. This is a major national crisis. So for the Korean government, this is a national crisis. No one knows what to do and how to stop this. You either got to bring people in, foreigners in, you got to use AI or some kind of innovation or robotics or whatever. You got to convince people to have more kids. But it's difficult to convince people to have more kids when it's so hard. There's so much pressure to do certain things. Anyway, listen, the bottom line here for me is that this is the future shakeup of the world, that some countries are going to decline in numbers and lots of different reasons, and other countries are going to grow. And there's just endless movement around, how this operates. And it's the world in 30 or 40 years is going to look really different from today. And it's, to me, as a sociologist who studies this stuff, it's really fascinating. And white people, by the way, those of us who are white, our numbers are just shrinking and will continue to shrink in regards to the world's population, which is getting browner and blacker.
If you are more interested in more information, please leave a comment and I will check out and respond. Once again, thanks for watching. Peace be with you.